Robin, thank you so much for joining us. It's so wonderful to be able to have you here and have you part of this.
Oh, thank you, Matt. This is very close to my heart, so it's a real privilege.
You're so welcome. So, Robin, you are like so many other people inside this community that I love to connect with. You are, in my mind, I would say one of our star success stories.
Oh, well, the inner journey's been the success for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful to see you've grown so much, and then you're like, I love how much responsibility you take to share this message, which is really wonderful. Now, when you first began, it very much wasn't like that. So take us back to before the quest. What was the challenges you were experiencing, and what was life like? And let's start there.
Well, I can hardly recognise that woman, may I say. And yeah, I was very broken. I was, lost hope in life, really. I had gone through, breast cancer, but I had lived in an emotionally, I guess, bankrupt marriage, and eventually that fell apart. So a lot of broken dreams, broken hopes, and I had lost myself, really, Matt. I came out of that marriage and not really, who was I anymore? And I knew, I'm so grateful for, I guess, some of my my upbringing, that there was something. I was always instilled, determination, and there was something burning within me that I knew that there was something, and I didn't know what it was. But yeah, I'm just so grateful I came across this and said yes, and the rest is history, really. Yeah.
So you were really at a really low point. It sounds like you were at a very, very low point.
Yeah.
And you said, you were broken and you really, really lost.
Mm.
You found this. I imagine you came along to something like this, you heard some messages and you found out about the quest. From that place of brokenness and from that place of feeling lost, to hear these messages, what did it sound like? Because I know that as we change, we actually hear things differently.
Yeah.
Did it sound like it was too good to be true? Or did it sound like I could never achieve that? Or was it just like, what I needed? Or what was your experience?
Well, I knew I needed it, and yet there was an element within me that thought, would this happen for everybody else and not me? And I guess that was where I was at that time. I'd lost confidence. I felt very unworthy, and really, was I enough to be able to discover more of me and live the life that I dreamed about, really? Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that'll be really inspirational to anyone else who's feeling the same way, who's thinking, wow, this sounds really great, but maybe I'll be the one person who joins this and just stays the same.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yet there was something within me that I thought, this is it. This is, I just so need to discover more who I am again. And I knew deep down there was the beautiful me that I had lost, that fun-loving, crazy girl that loved people and connection and adventure. And I had lost her in that whole journey of, giving to everybody else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I imagine so many people, again, will resonate with what you've just said. I think so many of us, we lose who we were.
Yeah.
And some people I find can't even remember. They completely disconnect from who they were. Now, when you started this, what was it like just getting into the learning? I know that we initially invite you into a wonderful Facebook community, and the program's all staged out into challenges. So what was it like when you started to do the challenges and you started to share and started to actually, because a lot of education like this, it talks about why the problem's there, but it doesn't talk about how to solve it. And the Quest program is very big on this is how to solve it. What was it like going through and actually doing the work for you?
I've loved every step, really. There's been so much support and encouragement, and I think that was where I was at a point in my life where I didn't have anybody championing me along in life. It was like I just had this much to give me, and this community has given so much to me and the confidence and the love and the belief to take those initial steps until I was able to believe that, yes, I could do this, and that's been just an epic gift that I have been able to give myself and that I've been able to receive from others. Yeah.
And what part of the work has been the biggest, like just the part that you've loved the most? I think a lot of people end up, they love certain parts of it. There's boundaries, needs, emotions.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
the mirroring. There's the.
It's really hard to pick which one, I must say. The needs, I've realised, even as I've gone over this, in the last number of years, I'm realising so much more that I wasn't able to express my needs. And I felt guilty almost, and, asking for what I needed. And that was all associated with the roles that I'd played. I had 7 children, and it was all about meeting everybody else's needs and trying to, I think, earn my worth. That I was seen to be able to do this job, and so that has been a great awareness for me, learning about how I can meet a lot of my own needs and not putting an unfair expectation on others that often are even more unable to meet my needs than I was. Boundaries, Matt, has been amazing. I feel that in that place that I'm able to accept people, just love people where they are, and with no fear, because I have so much stronger boundaries. And I think I've always been a compassionate person, but I think I'm more compassionate than ever, which is awesome. And then the emotions, well, I'm just really discovering more and more about, emotional intimacy, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's something that is something burning up within me, that the world, there are so many locked down people, they need this message, and to be able to express, I think I've always been a fairly open person. And yet what I realised through this quest was that so many of my painful emotions I buried, and often in the journey of unresourceful loyalty to my parents or to, my ex-husband and things like that. So to be able to express it, to be able to say it how it is without glossing it over, without making it any worse, but just owning it, and I think a lot of this journey has been about ownership, taking that back. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really grateful for it. I'm proud of me for keeping on when things were tough and painful to see. And I'm so grateful for the people, like you, Matt, that have always supported me and cheered me on. So thank you. Yeah.
You're so welcome. How has tell us a little bit about your relationships and your family life, and because I know that that's something that's really important to you.
Yeah, it is.
How has the relationships that you have with people, how have they shifted as a result of what you've learned and what you've been practicing?
Well, even down to the basics, where you're able to, you know yourself better, and you're able to recognise things in other people and understand others so much, easier. And I'm not triggered. I respond. I don't react to things. I don't take it personally, because my bank, that foundational bank that I can draw on when things get tough or something, not very nice happens to you, or somebody treats you in an inappropriate way. I have tools, and I have things to draw on now, which is, I guess, has built resilience in me, and I'm able to express myself in an appropriate way. When I've got a teenage son, well, he's nearly 20, and teenagers are teenagers. And he's an awesome young man, but I'm able to, you know, express if he perhaps says something that is not really respectful, I can respond in a really way that speaks to his heart, and then he'll say, "Oh, Mum, I'm sorry. You know, I shouldn't have said it that way," and I can see the ripples within him, which is really, really wonderful, and you know, in the rest of my family. So
it's a wonderful gift. It's one of the things we talk about in the program is to break the tribal cycle.
Yeah,
and that's what you're doing. And I think that, you know, I like thinking about that myself. You know, I don't have kids yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that'll feel like.
Yeah.
But to have a boy and to think, well, what I'm doing right now is not just for me. And I know that we talk about, you know, we don't do it for others, but the inherent gift is that he now has more resources. He has more resources that you were passed down.
Yeah.
Will evolve, and we get to keep that going. I just think it's just so.
It is.
It's so
and
great.
And to see him so open and so much in touch with him and walking his own walk, which, you know, so often when you're at that age, you're so influenced by your peers, and to see him standing alone and influencing his peers, I'm a real proud mum. Yeah.
Congratulations, Robin. Now, there will be so many people that will be watching this that will be inspired by what you've done. And I know that, and I love that I know how much you love the fact that you get to inspire other people to do this, which is
yeah.
What would you say to someone who's considering joining the quest and starting their own wonderful journey?
Yeah. Well, I'm all about not having regrets, and don't live with regrets. And if it's not now, when is going to be the right time? And it's never too late to change the path that you're on, to really make a difference in not only your life, but in the lives of those that you love. And give yourself that gift. You will not regret it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Robin. It's been a joy having you on this.
Thank you, Matt. I just so love being a part of it and appreciate you so much.
So welcome. Thank you.
Bye.